Can a woman truly become a mother at 65? And if she does, what does the world say? And more importantly, what does she feel? Today, we're exploring one of the most deeply personal and often controversial journeys a woman can take, becoming a mother later in life. This story isn't just about age or science or society. It's about dreams, judgment, resilience, and love. So sit back and let's take a thoughtful, honest, and compassionate look at this complex topic. Only a few decades ago, the idea of becoming a mother in your 60s was considered science fiction. The limitations of biology and social expectations made late motherhood nearly unimaginable. But today, thanks to reproductive technologies like IVF, egg donation, hormone therapy, and embryo transfer, it's not only possible but increasingly common. Older motherhood, once rare and ridiculed, is now supported by modern medicine. According to data from fertility clinics and medical journals, births to women over 50 have increased sharply in countries like the US, UK, Spain, and India. In fact, in parts of India, there are villages known for record-breaking births to women in their 60s. While pregnancy after 60 is still rare, it's no longer a medical impossibility. Women are now giving birth at 60, 65, and even older, safely, with proper medical support. The advances in egg preservation, donor programs, and assisted reproduction have created opportunities for women who were once told that their time had passed. This dramatic shift raises profound questions. What defines a right age for motherhood? Can emotional readiness, financial security, and life wisdom compensate for the biological realities of age? Can love and desire to nurture be strong enough to outweigh societal resistance? When older women become mothers, society reacts, and the reaction is rarely neutral. The spectrum of public opinion is wide and emotionally charged. Some people say, she's an inspiration. She never gave up. She'll be a wise and patient parent. These sentiments reflect admiration for the resilience and determination it takes to pursue motherhood against the odds. But others respond with skepticism, saying, isn't she too old? Is this fair to the child? What if she's not around when the child grows up? These questions reveal more about us, our biases, fears, and cultural programming than they do about the women themselves. In particular, there's a glaring double standard. When older men, politicians, celebrities, business tycoons, become fathers in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, they are often congratulated. People say, good for him, or he still has it. It's almost seen as a badge of virility. But when women do the same, they're met with suspicion, often accused of being irresponsible or unnatural. This isn't just about age. It's about deeply rooted beliefs about gender roles, fertility, motherhood, and what we think a woman should be. Women's reproductive choices are scrutinized at every stage: too young, too old, too many children, not enough children. And late motherhood challenges the traditional narrative in a powerful way. It forces society to confront its discomfort with female autonomy and biological independence. We often hear what society says. But what about the women who actually live this experience? Their voices are the most important, yet often the most overlooked. Let's listen to their truths. Maria, a 65-year-old woman from Italy, gave birth to twins after decades of failed attempts. She said, "They called me selfish. But no one saw the tears I cried for 30 years. I didn't do this to prove anything. I did it because I had love to give." Her journey was one of persistence through heartbreak, and when she finally held her babies, all the judgment seemed to fade. Ananya, a 63-year-old from India, finally had a child through IVF. She explained, "Before, they judged me for being childless. Now, they judge me for being a mother. I realized, the world will always talk. So I chose what made me happy." Her words cut deep, exposing the hypocrisy of a culture that pressures women into motherhood but punishes them for how and when they pursue it. Then there's Grace, from Nigeria, who adopted at age 60 and said, "I may not have carried her in my womb, but I carry her in my soul." Their stories show that behind every late motherhood is a lifetime of waiting, hoping, enduring, and ultimately, choosing. It's not a sudden or impulsive decision. It's often the result of years, even decades, of silent struggle, societal pressure, and personal reflection. Of course, the medical side cannot be ignored. Motherhood at 65 brings significant risks. The human body was not naturally designed to carry a pregnancy at this stage in life. Older mothers face higher risks of high blood pressure, gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, preterm delivery, and C-section complications. That's why medical professionals perform intensive screening and provide vigilant care. Women who pursue late pregnancy are typically monitored closely with customized health plans. Yet many older mothers, particularly those using donor eggs and modern hormonal therapies, have smooth, healthy pregnancies. With close collaboration between fertility experts and obstetricians, they beat the odds. Medical advances can't eliminate all risk, but they've made what was once thought impossible a reality. And it's not just about physical health. Mental and emotional readiness, a supportive partner or family system, and access to postnatal care all contribute to a positive experience. One of the most common concerns is the question, is it fair to the child? This question, though important, often oversimplifies the issue. Yes, older parents may not live as long. But the truth is, no parent has a guarantee of time. Young parents can face illness, accidents, and tragedies. Longevity is unpredictable. What matters more is the quality of parenting, not just quantity of years. Older mothers often bring emotional maturity, stability, financial security, and a lifetime of learned patience. They may not run on the playground, but they listen, they understand, and they show up in ways that matter deeply. Studies have shown that children raised by older parents often score well in school, have fewer behavioral issues, and enjoy emotionally rich environments. The wisdom and calm that come with age often translate into more thoughtful parenting. Furthermore, many of these children grow up surrounded by extended families and supportive communities. The key to a healthy childhood is not the age of the parent, but the love, care, and presence they offer. Why do women choose to become mothers later in life? The reasons are deeply varied. For some, it's the result of infertility and decades of trying. For others, it's about late marriage, career pursuits, or simply never meeting the right partner until later. Some women decide after years of focusing on others that it's time to focus on a dream they set aside. In countries where fertility treatments weren't available or affordable until recently, many women waited until they could access the help they needed. Others were caregivers for aging parents or siblings and delayed their own plans. For some, it's about redemption, giving love after loss, healing a wound with hope. This isn't about a ticking clock or societal timeline. It's about soul. And when the moment arrives, even if it's at 65, it's no less sacred. A child born into love is never late. Thankfully, the world is starting to change. Today, more doctors support older motherhood. More psychologists and fertility counselors provide specialized support. Online communities for older moms are growing. Women are finding solidarity, advice, and encouragement from others who share their journey. Even the medical language is evolving. The old term, geriatric pregnancy, is being replaced with advanced maternal age. It's a small but meaningful shift in how we think and speak about age and fertility. We are slowly moving from judgment to support, from suspicion to celebration, from limitations to possibilities. Motherhood is evolving, and it's time our mindsets evolve too. Interestingly, late motherhood isn't entirely new. In religious texts, Sarah gave birth at 90. While these stories are often seen as symbolic, they point to an age-old understanding that motherhood can come in many forms, at many times. In the 1800s, there were stories, some well documented, of women giving birth naturally into their 50s and 60s. And in many indigenous cultures, elder women have long served as mother figures, raising children communally. In these societies, age was seen as an asset, not a limitation. Love, wisdom, and the ability to nurture were more important than biological factors. Let's address the three most common criticisms directly. First, isn't this unnatural? Well, so is chemotherapy. So is open heart surgery. So are pacemakers and organ transplants. Just because something doesn't occur without medical assistance doesn't make it wrong. It makes it innovative. Second, isn't this selfish? Choosing to love, raise, and nurture a child is one of the most selfless acts possible. Selfishness is ignoring someone's dream because it doesn't fit your idea of normal. And third, won't the child suffer? A child's future depends not on a parent's age, but on the care, presence, values, and love they receive. All of which can be provided at 25 or 65. So in the end, what does it mean to be a mother? Is it an age? A body? A timeline? Or is it something deeper? A willingness to care. A calling to love. A promise to raise a soul with kindness and wisdom. Motherhood isn't just a biological function, it's a spiritual mission. It's an act of courage, compassion, and connection. And if a woman at 65 says yes to that mission, prepared, supported, and full of love, who are we to say no? If this story moved you, share it. Let's challenge assumptions. Let's support all mothers, young or old. Because every path to parenthood deserves dignity. And every child deserves to be born into love. Subscribe to Golden Wisdom for daily videos that uplift, inform, and inspire.